Ladies and gentlemen, our third catch of the night, Saint Social. If you like live music, the Gulf Coast Music Listening Room event at Spring Hill College is where you should be on Saturday, October 10th at 7 p.m. For $10, come enjoy some originals and make connections with other music lovers. A listening room is a respectful environment for the sole purpose of observing great music. As of now, no alcohol or any other outside substances will be permitted. To buy pre-sale tickets, use the link in our bio and show us your receipt at the door. We'll have t-shirts. See you guys there. The Saint Social brand image is vibrant, and the whole concept of you guys coming up and coming back together through music is kind of a vibrant story. Just talk on that and introduce some people to you guys.
Well, I'm Quinn, and this is Justin over here, and Brian, and of course they'll speak for themselves on this part. But first of all, I just need to say that your question is one of the most insightful questions I think we've gotten yet. I love that you use the word vibrant, just because for us it was like making the songs for this band has been a way of us like using light to counteract darkness in a lot of ways.
Right.
Because the way it all began, was during a dark time. You want to chime in here real quick?
And also maybe I was a little bit too on the exaggeration side of like saying that you need to get this close.
Okay.
I think it being right here is that picking up fine?
As long as it's angled at you.
And are we live? Yeah, we're live. Okay. I forgot you turned off the record button anyway. Some
If you could just angle it out.
some post-production edits going to happen.
Perfect.
So Saint Social was, like Quinn said, just really born out of kind of a time of, just was a dark time, right? We were around COVID. Mm-hmm. Everybody was shut in, locked down, I know we'll all speak to this throughout the whole time we're here, but we've been friends for decades and playing music together. And it was kind of like we're all shut in. We all had the ability in our own homes to record music. So we were like, why not, guys? Like, let's do this.
How did y'all engage that? Was that like a FaceTime, like Xbox Live?
Technology is an amazing thing, right? Xbox Live would have been a great thing.
Yeah, we should have.
We totally should have done that.
Yeah.
We were all sitting around playing, Call of Duty one day and was like, but no.
This is where we need Jace to chime in. And,
yeah. So
his son Jace.
Just having the ability and just with technology, we were able to, we FaceTimed a lot, but we were able to bounce. Like I could record some guitar parts, shoot them over to Quinn. He could throw an idea in, shoot it over to Brian. Brian would throw back some drums and come back. Yeah. And so it all just kind of built up and we were like, okay, guys, I think we've really got something here.
Right.
Obviously the chemistry of us having played music together for decades at different intervals in our lives, the chemistry was instantly there. Mm. COVID was a tough time for everybody. A fun fact, I'm a nurse, so shout out to all the nursing students here at Spring Hill. Keep going. Keep going. It gets better. It's an amazing career. Just keep going.
Where are you a nurse at?
So I actually work in the post-acute care industry, so home health and hospice.
Cool.
Is what I do primarily now across 3 states. So Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia.
But you were.
But I was, I was actually. I worked at Providence Hospital and Mobile Infirmary. So
have you found it's helped you take care of these guys?
Sometimes I don't like. I say I.
There have been some moments.
I don't like to be a nurse when I'm off the clock. That's kind of my rule. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to.
Right.
But that's kind of where it all stemmed from, man. We just were like, let's do this. Dark times. Everybody's separated. Lacking that interaction. So we tried to make it work the best we could.
Yeah, like you said, we all grew up together, and when he says that there's like a strong bond, there's literally family in this room. These two are brother-in-laws.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So just that alone in and of itself is such a bonding thing. But we spent hours and hours growing up playing together, cutting our teeth in some of our our first and most formative bands. I actually left Biloxi, Mississippi, where we're all from originally, and moved to Nashville and pursued music. And
did the Nashville run?
I did, yeah. and I had some really amazing things happen, and I've been really privileged, and it's a humbling thing to have a career in music. So I've had songs in TV and film, and
Yeah, I was gonna say your music is perfect for the film industry in various capacities.
thank you for that. It's a really sweet compliment. I would say that some of that is like natural. I think it's some, we're drawn to music that is commercial,
Right.
but we are trying to make something that feels like where we're from too. So it's got a certain flavor in the music that separates it. But I'd honestly say if the music feels dramatic, it feels like visual. I think we just like that kind of music naturally, but also because of my time,
Right.
Working in licensing and sync and stuff. It's a habit. It's a thing that I do.
Would you say that once you kind of broke that territory of into the licensing and syncing music industry and seeing how people can profit in those ways, and once you familiarize yourself with that sound, it drew on you?
Oh yeah, I mean, it becomes like another tool in your tool belt. For me, and this is a whole longer conversation, but I came into licensing music for TV and film sort of through the back door. I had some natural instincts that I was at the time I was writing music that had a very visual flavor to it, and then at the time, micro licensing, which is a form of licensing that's focused on like wedding film and nonprofit media and like low budget business stuff.
Micro license.
Yeah. At the time, that was like a new thing in licensing, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and my music had that instincts. But then as I grew in that field, it was like a combination of like reverse engineering. Why did this work? Like, why were people drawn to my music this way? And then I was working with people in the industry or labels who were giving me direct feedback. I would say though, when it comes to our music, we definitely wanted our music to have like that flavor that we wanted to transport people. And I think that music that's in film,
Right.
when you see something and you hear something and it's in the right combination, it does transport people into an emotional space.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You can't help it.
You can't help it. It's cathartic, right?
Right.
And so I think that was definitely like in us to do. But I wouldn't say that the goal of the music was we're gonna put this in a movie. Like
Gotcha.
it was almost like it has the right elements for it,
Right.
but it wasn't like on purpose.
It makes sense. It's like
Yeah.
the common denominators aligned.
Yeah, and so would we like Swagger to be on ESPN? Of course. We definitely think that it should be, played in steady rotation at the Biloxi Shuckers, across the way here, and any sports team or whatever.
Well, it's also too like everybody knows like their favorite song or a certain song that takes them back to a memory,
Right.
in time. Like I can remember the first song I listened to when I got my first car and
Oh,
turned
yeah.
on the radio.
I listened to Energy by Drake when I was playing the Wii.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like songs like that take you back.
Right.
We're writing songs in a way that it's like, and Quinn says it from the stage. We hope this becomes the soundtrack to your life.
Right.
So that's what we're kind of aiming for.
I think I like the word vibrant, the way that you use that.
Yeah.
When I said it the first time so close to the mic, and now I'm back here saying it, better and from a more healthy distance.
Well, you really pronounce your words.
Okay, well, thank you. I strive. I aim to please. But when we came together and we decided like we're gonna form this band, we're gonna do it during quarantine, we're gonna file share. It was like, okay, if we're gonna start a band, and this is as friends our big swing, what kind of music do we want to make, and how do we want it to like fit
Right.
this community, right? And I have this idea I call sonic context, which is, I know, I'm sure I say this all the time, there's probably an anthropologist who has a term for this, and I just don't know it, but specific people in specific places make a specific sound. Cool. And it's like, and I think that every,
Sonic I love that.
Sonic context. Like there's a context for sound,
Right.
And it produces. You know, we naturally do it, and so you can also intentionally make a sound that fits the space you're in.
Right.
So we wanted to intentionally like create how the Gulf Coast sounds to us.
Awesome.
But we also have bands that we naturally gravitate toward, or there's a way of playing that we naturally love.
Yes.
So we wanted to funnel. We believe in coming from a stream of music, and we just want to come from that stream, but make our version of that sound and run it through I-10, run it through the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
And so part of what we decided to do is we wanted to make vibrant music. We wanted to make music that moves people.
Right.
Not only from like a heart space, but like we want you to dance. We want you to have a good
You need
time.
to start naming the bus on Pro Tools I-10.
Hey, I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we tossed out bands that we collectively love, and we talked about like feeling like a need for dance music in a way.
Right.
And also we wanted to meet the culture where it's at, meaning the Gulf Coast has a very vibrant tourist industry. And so a lot of the venues that we can play in, they're mainly geared toward people who are coming in from out of town. And so there's also like a vibrant cover band scene. Much respect to all those bands.
For sure.
But we really wanted to make our own music. And so we thought, okay, what could we do to meet the venues halfway?
Right.
But also be clear that our intent is to make music for this place and we want people to get behind it.
Yeah.
So we came up with our percentages. Hey, if you'll let us play 80% our stuff, we'll give you 20% of the other stuff that you want. We'll just play it our way.
Gotcha.
And so then we started throwing in covers into our set initially to that were like songs or bands that are part of the fabric of what we're trying to make. So it's not like us, like I'm not going to do Sam Hunt justice. I'm not going to do Tennessee Whiskey justice.
Right.
But we'll do Bittersweet Symphony and we'll play Yellow. You know.
It's not a complete departure. So like every cover points back to the songs that we're making.
Got it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome, guys, to the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, Saint Social.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was the longest intro we've had, but we were making great points and I had to let it ride out. So
Love that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
sir.
Today's podcast brought to you by Vibrancy.
that is actually a good idea for a company name. I wonder if there's any.
Vibrancy. Ooh, Justin, there's your side hustle, bro.
Let's do it.
So yes, in the ways that you guys go about conceptualizing the brand via the designs, the promo videos, are any of those processes similar in that your delegation process of who's coming up with ideas for, be it the songs that you make, the album covers, the promo videos? How do you guys do that?
Well, I'm the genesis of everything, and
Gotcha.
then it's a lot of fielding and brainstorming ideas with these guys. So it kind of starts off with me, and then it goes to them, and then we come back, and I'd say it's pretty like democratic. Like it's very like we all want to make sure that we all like what's going on. So it's a lot of consensus.
Yeah, something to me that's healthy is like an idea is thrown out there and it's here's the idea, now beat it. And if another idea is better, like we're not like
cool, man.
we're not like married to it. It's like if this idea is better, we're realistic with it. And
Now, do you ever find that you guys get lost in the sauce, maybe, of trying to beat ideas?
I don't think so because generally we know. I think it's from being in the recording studio. Like sometimes you're trying to do too much, and when
Right.
you play it back, you hear it. It's like, oh, that's not serving the song well. We
Right.
talk
Oh,
about that all the
that's
time.
5 hours I wasted.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes we're playing things live, and you think it's the way it should go,
Got it.
and then you hear it back. It's almost like looking in the mirror. Like okay, that needs to be a simpler part, or okay, we do need to add something there. It's to me, the studio is like the ultimate.
It's the equalizer.
It's the equalizer.
Equalizer, gotcha.
Yeah, and I just want to add, I mean, I think one of the greatest things is like because we have the chemistry and we've known each other for so long, like there's no egos here. You know, and I think that is a huge part of, you know, being successful. Like Quinn certainly throws out a lot of ideas. He may send us a scratch track that's just his vocal and an acoustic guitar, and he's like, "All right, boys, do your thing." You know, we may come back with something. He's like, "Like it, don't love it. Try this." Like,
Right.
yeah, I like that. And essentially, we aren't. You know, I think one of the greatest things about being in a great band of great musicians, is that you're constantly in competition to impress each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, if I play this riff live, I'm gonna look at Brian and he's gonna go, "Oh yeah, that was sick, dude." You know, or something like that. And I may do the
Just
same
play
thing.
it off, you know.
Yeah, we play off of each other a lot. And to Brian's point, like what he was saying was like we flesh out a lot of stuff
Right.
live. And it's you just try to elevate the experience every single time. And then by the time we've played it a couple times, we're getting ready to go in the studio. We may track it, and then we're like, "Yeah, you know what? It works live, but it doesn't necessarily work in the studio setting."
That's a great point.
yeah.
Man. That's a great point. I've noticed that in any context, things that you'll do in a sports game, you know, things that you'll do in normal conversation that wouldn't work in other types, like performing in front of people. Some things just like fit, and sorry, that was just a great point.
No, yeah, and absolutely. And that's also why we're doing this live recording tonight, because you get a chance to capture,
Right.
you know, okay, that's the live feel of
Right.
Saint Social,
Like-
and then there's a studio feel.
Exactly. You wouldn't want to hear like some type of shuffle or skip in a song that you hear in Apple Music over and over again. It would get old maybe, but in a live setting where you improvise it like that, you know, Muhammad Ali isn't going to practice the shuffle, but in a performance it goes hard.
Yeah.
Well, and to speak to the process a little bit more on the song side, and then I'd love to tell you more about the visual component, because you brought that up, and I think that that's a huge part of what we're doing too. I mean, there were like 6 or 7, maybe 8 versions of "Don't Let the Fire Die" before we landed on what you now hear.
Really?
And we would shed those ideas, like Justin said, live for a while. And then for me, I was just like, there's something about this song that just doesn't feel like it takes off and it takes you to that other place. And so then I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna work on this arrangement. And I threw out I think I gave the guys like 2 arrangements. I was like, which one do you like? And the one that we ended up bringing to the studio, and literally it was like, I think a week or 2 before we took it into the studio. That's when that happened. Yeah. So it was like all the way up to, because I mean, once it's on tape, it's on tape.
Right.
You know?
Isn't that so fascinating that musicians kind of have that? Rick Rubin brings it often. Is like, if it doesn't feel right, although you might not know what it is that's missing, it's like you know what feels right.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of have to. I also like the word enough, not like from the perspective of like, hey, that's enough, but more like, okay, it's enough.
Right.
It's good.
Right.
Because you can drive yourself crazy
Keep it simple,
trying
stupid.
exactly trying to perfect something that you're never going to quite get to. But I think I think that feeling is what drives us into the next song.
Yeah.
You know, into the next project. Is like,
Yes.
is there something that I needed to explore in that feeling that I can't do with this song, but I can do with maybe the next one?
What a great point. What a great point.
Yeah.
I saw something recent. Familiar with Brian Eno?
No, I'm not.
He produced a couple of Coldplay's albums.
U2,
yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Bowie, David Bowie.
Yeah, and he talked about how deadlines like drive creativity to get out
You got it.
in the right way. And like we kind of hold ourselves to deadlines of when we
Yeah.
want to get things done.
Right.
So it's like we're prepared for that moment, and then once it's passed, like, all right, that's what it's gonna be. And then it's good to go from there.
Really cool.
But then we can take and keep like hold on it and then release it when it's time.
Right. Absolutely.
I love what Brian said about deadlines, because we do, and these guys will tell you I'm the worst. Okay, when it comes to like when it comes to getting stuff out,
He did nursing school on time, but when it comes to music,
Yeah,
completely
well,
different.
because I tend to be one that's like, oh my gosh, I call myself like I'm a procrastinating perfectionist. Like I'll put something off until I can do it perfectly.
Yeah.
And and it tends to be like a crutch sometimes, but there's an explosion of creativity that happens when you get close to a deadline. And I mean, these guys have seen it's just like all of a sudden, it's like it just the creativity just starts exploding out of you because I've got 1 hour to like do this. So it's like you just set everything else aside and you just dig into it, and then all of a sudden just I mean, sometimes even literally in the studio, we will just be like, you know what? I'm walking into the studio and I'm not quite 100% sure what I'm going to lay down,
Right.
but something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it ends up being like
Right. It's like the level of respect that you put on the deadline increases the chances that you come up with something that meets it.
Absolutely.
Well, and it also forces you to not overthink it. Like sometimes the best choice is the simple choice.
Right.
And kind of what we've all had to learn being musicians is that you have to get out of the way of the song.
Right.
And sometimes there are moments where, I might want to do a vocal run, but is it necessary? It gets in the way. He might do this fill, and it's like it's cool because it really shows off skill, but is it like, does it garble up a moment in the song? And lead parts can be that way too. It's like sometimes you need to play the more like nursery rhyme feeling thing, and it feels simple to you, but it's actually the emotion that's in those notes that elevates the
Beatles.
feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music feeds the soul, but food feeds the future. Right here on the Gulf Coast, thousands of families don't know where their next meal is coming from. Feeding the Gulf Coast is changing that tune one meal at a time. Imagine this. For every $1, you can provide up to 5 meals. That's like turning a quiet solo into a full-blown jam session of hope for someone in need. Let's turn the volume up on kindness and down on hunger. Visit feedingthegulfcoast.org to donate today, because together we can make sure no one goes hungry on or off the stage. Feeding the Gulf Coast, because every community deserves an encore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget where it's from, but there was a sports reporter that when she started, she was really anxious. And the way that she cooled her nerves was she had her assistant just say 5, 4, 3, 2, go, because she used to play sports. And when you're in the sports game, the buzzer rings.
Wow.
You're on the court. You've
Game
got to
on.
go. You've
Game
got
on.
no
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
The choice kind of perplexes you,
That's right.
But just having to commit, you find out that you're bigger than the moment.
Yeah.
Are there ways? Sorry, I already asked. With you guys being so close for so long, one thing that Dave Ramsey said was that a partnership is the only ship that sinks. What are ways when you guys have been able to avoid that? Maybe you're able to separate yourself from the fact that we're friends, but this is music. This is a different entity. What are ways that you guys do?
Wow.
That's layered.
What a profound question. I'll say this. I think that all of us share certain values like vulnerability, accountability. Our values, we share faith values. And I think for us, because this relationship, the music is important. And the music is actually an extension of this relationship. And so we have hard conversations, and it's all about if this isn't okay, then what we're doing with music isn't okay.
Gotcha.
So I think
It starts in the dugout.
it does.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to hear what they have to say, but I want to say this. The business is important, but this business is most important.
Right.
Right? You know, heaven forbid something happen and someone walks away from this.
Right.
But the relationship has to be right no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what happens here that creates that sound.
Right.
Like Justin said, it's our chemistry as friends, as brothers, that makes that experience happen for people when they come to our show. It's almost like we invite them into this dynamic,
Right.
and invite them to be part of it. And if this isn't right, then that's not right.
Yeah, and that's been a reoccurring compliment is people notice that
You can
live.
move it a little bit closer. So.
People notice that live that, you know, the chemistry.
Right.
They complement our chemistry so much. And, you know, to the partnerships, I think it's a partnership versus a friendship conversation to what Quinn was saying. You know, partnerships may be the ships that sink, but friendships normally don't if they're rooted. And I think, you know, it's important to keep at the forefront of like our minds and everything that we do, exactly what Quinn was saying. Like any relationship that breaks down ultimately is a breakdown of expectations. Any relationship that fails is a failure of expectations. So it's important for us to make sure that we have clear and open expectations on each other.
Right.
You know, and that may be not musically, it may be how are you supporting me? How are you, you know, coming up first and foremost, like Quinn said, we come alongside each other as friends and brothers. You know, we all have walked through things in our personal lives that distract us from, you know, the mission of the music or what have you. But first and foremost, I'll be the first one to tell you these dudes, you know, they'll drop everything that they're doing and support me, and we'll do the same for each other during whatever we're walking through.
Right.
And that's why Quinn was saying it must be right. This must be right first.
Right.
And then that comes out in the music. You know, music is emotional. Like we all know that when you listen to an artist, you can feel the emotion sometimes behind like what they're doing. And it's important for us to make sure that we're bringing the right emotions into the studio or onto the stage. So yeah, that's what I got to say about it.
We've been doing this for a long time, and so when we formed this band, it was kind of under the auspices of like, this is probably the most important thing we're going to do, and we're going to do it right from the beginning. The communication is going to be right. The expectations are going to be right. We're going to hold each other accountable from the beginning. Yeah. And we're going to check in. And I don't know that every band is built that way or designed that way, but for us, that's what it was. And that was a very intentional conversation. It's a very direct conversation. And so
I like how you're breaking down the side of being part of a band that people don't initially assume or understand. Because I, for one, didn't consider that the checking in on the guys in the band. You know, a band that is formed off of music first may forget about that and lose touch with the guys and just assume that everybody's just gonna play music at 100% because
there are a lot of miserable bands
right
that like literally make incredible music because of the ingredients of those people in that formation, but they hate each other's guts. You know, like, I mean, have you? I'm assuming, have you seen the Michael Jordan documentary that's on Netflix? Right. Like, did all the Bulls get along well?
Oh,
or are they friends?
Right.
Now, I think I heard.
he punched Steve Kerr.
Right. I'm pretty sure Scottie Pippen, if I'm not mistaken, said that he'd never been over to Michael Jordan's house for dinner.
Right.
But there's something about I think he did say that recently. There's the combination.
He knows who to pass to in the last seconds, though.
Yeah.
It's the combination of those skills coming together to create a certain outcome. For us, that was not an option in this band. Mm-hmm. The option was this first.
Right.
We love each other. We like being together. Now, do we get frustrated with each other? Of course we do. Yes. These guys drive me crazy, but
love and hate, you know.
But the love is so much deeper.
Right.
Yeah, and what you see on stage should be an overflow of our friendship and brotherhood. And to add to what both these guys are saying, it's the steady conversations. Like, we meet pretty much weekly. We live in different states, but we're FaceTiming once a week to check in.
Awesome.
We're talking.
I was going to ask about that as well. Is it tough to coordinate rehearsals?
Yes. Okay. Oh, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
But let's. I think we need to clarify that. So we grew up in a musical culture
Right.
where their practice is at home, rehearsal is when you're together, and when you rehearse, you're playing it like you wrote it, right? And so
another good
we've lived in a culture where you always have to be prepared.
Yeah.
So luckily, when we talked about the whole file sharing dynamic that started this band, we were writing songs together for like 5 or 6 months before we showed up to play for the first time together.
Yeah, what do you mean by file sharing?
So basically, what would happen is I'd open up a Logic. Like Logic is the DAW that we use to write music. I'd create a basic demo, and then I would send like a WAV file to Brian. Say, okay, Brian, track your part on this.
I got it.
So then I'm using Ableton, and I track drums, multi-track, get all the parts in, just a raw drum file. Send it back to Quinn. So like you're building from the rhythm up.
So then I put my at the time I was putting bass on it, and then I do that, and then I send it to Justin.
Oh, that's cool, man.
then
What does that feel like when you wake up in the morning? Text from Quinn. Bet.
Exactly.
It's time to lock in.
It's time to fire up the studio.
You know,
again.
uncommon times. We,
Right.
you know, I like, you know, we, you know, like what do you do when you can't be in the room together?
Right. Does anybody overshare files? Like, you're just like, all right, Quinn, this is the 5th file you've sent this week.
Man.
That's probably me. Honestly, that's me.
He does, but if he doesn't, I mean, we're grateful for it.
Yeah,
Right,
then
right.
what do we
Because-
do?
Yeah, he's steering the ship.
I
Yeah, that's a really cool system that you guys have in place. Where like
Yeah.
maybe I'm sure this might happen where you'll listen to it and you're like, not really feeling it, but I've got 4 other files from Quinn that I can listen to and build off of.
Yeah, and it's tough to be in a band with me because I'm very prolific. I write a lot and I have a lot of ideas. Very generative,
Yeah.
just as a human, and I it's a blessing because I think like we're not gonna run out of ideas.
Yeah.
It's also tough though because like you have to
I
cut.
have to keep up with all those.
Yeah, you have to keep up with all
And
this.
which ones
ideas.
do we do and which ones do we not do?
Yeah,
Right.
you know, and it makes the difference between like releasing a small batch like an EP or
Yeah.
releasing an album, and you know, and when you get to that conversation, it's like, let's make sure that we're not just putting a collection of songs together that have no connection. And I think, you know, part of what we set out to do was I'm very concept driven, and you know, if you talk about, you know, we talked about how time, like having a time constraint can force you to make decisions. For me, I need concepts, like a conceptual record. I need a record title that has something I'm writing to
Yeah.
to keep me in bounds.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense. It keeps me confined in a
What
viable way.
what does the compilation Saint Social? You know, I guess if it's a compilation, it makes sense. But is there some underlying theme to that?
Oh yeah, the album, the 9 songs, is very intentional.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a tool. I'm a so you know, he's in healthcare. I'm a language arts teacher. I teach 8th graders by day. Brian works for a very large contractor in the military contractor. And when we were talking about the songs and about what we wanted to make, we wanted something that was going to be affirming. I wanted it to be something that was a tool. I wanted people to like walk into the album and feel like they're on a journey from the first song to the last song.
Right.
And because I spend a lot of time like, you know, teaching literature and reading literature, I like things like Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey. And,
Gotcha.
And I was using a lot of like thinking of films, and
Have you ever read The Treasure of the Sierra Madre?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
That sounds cool though.
It's like the only book I'm reading right now.
Okay,
So
okay.
That was just a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
When's he throwing one out that stumped the English teacher?
You never know, man. Haven't read it all.
It is possible.
It is possible. But like, you know, like I think we wanted to make something that was, you know, has a form and has like one of the things that I was studying at the time is there's a Jewish poetic device called chiasms.
Gotcha.
And what it is in Jewish poetry, it doesn't rhyme like English poetry does. They use parallelism as a form. And so, like, for example,
Yes, please.
let's say like the first line of the poem and the last line of the poem has like 14 syllables, and then the next one has 7 syllables, and the next one has 7 syllables.
Interesting.
And and then what the structure of the poem is doing is pointing to the middle of it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the chiasm is in the middle of the poem.
Right.
They would call that the treasure.
Like an album.
Right. So there's a thing in the middle of our album that is the big message of the album. And so
That's cool, man.
so we wanted to do something
The
now.
climax.
Yeah. Now, if you took all the songs out of order, they can all stand on their own.
Right.
But in the context of the album, yeah. And
Really cool.
and I think in a really maybe meta way, that's the same of this band. You could take all of us out of this band, and we could stand on our own.
Yeah.
But together, there's a bigger picture that we're trying to present.
Right.
And so I'll say that we really, I especially spent a lot of time really methodically, like trying to create something that would pull people in, but it would give them hopefully years and years of time to like go back to it and experience new things about it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Hey, fighters, listen up. Are you tired of feeling like your conditioning holds you back in competition? It's time to bridge the gap between theory and real performance. At Dexter's Fitness Center, we're launching a combat sports strength and conditioning program designed for boxers, kickboxers, MMA fighters, and combat athletes who want to get faster, stronger, and more flexible while building the endurance to go the distance. No more outdated workouts, no more burnout. This program is built to enhance your skill work, prevent injuries, and maximize your potential without wasting your time or overwhelming your body. Training starts August 12th at Dexter's Fitness Center, 1900 Government Street, Mobile, Alabama. Sessions are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. If you're ready to step into every fight confident, prepared, and in peak condition, call 251-709-2654 or email contact@dextersfitnesscenter.com today. Let's build the fighter you're meant to be.
Is this broad labor? I'd like to talk to you about the possibility of moving a couple of things for me from my daughter's house to my garage.
And not to get too philosophical, but it's cool how there are many ways in life like that where things have already been created like that, and then in what I'm referring to is the kind of deeper meaning that something has in one field, another field has that. That's why analogies are formed, and to then create a new thing that can act as an analogy.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a narrative in our album.
Right.
There's a protagonist,
Right.
and this person. I don't want to say he because I want anyone to be able to like put themselves in that spot. But
Sure.
there's a story happening, and there's an interaction, and the interaction is, character with self, character with character, character with society, character
That's
with
cool, man.
nature. Like there's so many layers to this thing, and but at the end of the day, you know, and it's funny because I don't know. I assume this is a good thing about my writing, but like we'll be in the car and you know, the dad joke will come out and be like, you know, what you said, you got me from beginning to the end. You know, like, and I'm like, "Ugh." I'm like, you know, that kind of made me want to howl. You know, you know, like, yeah, you know, like, hey, I just want you to know.
We turn his lyrics against him.
Turn my lyrics against me all the time, you know, and that's really cool. What that says to me though is like it's very sticky. It's easy to grab a hold of. So as deep as it is, it's also, you know, easy to get a hold of, and I think that's why it's
Are there
called
ways
Saint
in
Social.
which, beyond the lyrics, the instrumentals offer that same
Oh yeah.
dynamic?
Oh, for sure.
Well, I think of Holiday Forever. I mean, that's a song of like homecoming and celebration. And that instrumental is really like a boldly longer instrumental than normal. But it's just like this psychedelic, uplifting feeling, and it just goes and goes. And it's like that's what you would want a celebration to be.
Yes.
So that's one example of many that we kind of weave in the music.
Cool.
So we have like what we call like the core of the band, and then we have what we call the soup. Okay, and like the core of the band is like the four of us and what we make. You know, when he's playing guitar, I'm playing guitar and singing. He's playing drums.
Right.
And then of course a bass player. The soup is all that other ambient stuff that we've made that kind of fills out our sound. The beautiful thing about that stuff is we go back to it all the time and we recreate new things with what's there. You know, so because like whether that's like synths and like, you know, little bleeps and bloops or like, you know, certain like extra stuff that like amplifies what the core of us make.
Right.
Like if you took the soup out of it, you still have us, and it's awesome. But we think that the soup, as we call it, is like it's part of that ethereal feeling that that people sense when they hear our music, and
Ear candy.
the ear candy, yeah. And it we take it and recreate things with it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I love about our music is that there's more to work with, and I think perpetually.
Yeah.
I think we'll always be going back to the soup.
Yes.
And, you know, making new things and trying to recreate, you know, what we're playing now, you know, years and years down the road in ways that are exploring what's already there.
Right.
And I think that's kind of fun and interesting and important.
In keeping with the present, you guys are performing at the Sanctuary in Biloxi.
Yep. Tonight.
Yes. And when this releases in late September, your listening room, or not, sorry, the live recording from the Sanctuary, will that be out by then?
No.
Okay.
We plan to release that sometime after the first of the year.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because we want to make sure that it's mixed and mastered properly,
Right.
and make sure that everything's right. But also, we're hoping to maybe have some plans to release it in another special way.
Okay,
You know,
cool.
outside of the actual experience of people being in the room and like recording this thing with us.
Yeah.
You know, we want to do things that when it comes out that can bring that community back together, maybe.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. So you know, these ideas take time. You don't want to rush that.
Right.
But yes, but 26 you'll be getting that, and our plan is to release some new music in 26 too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you'll record the chord tonight and release the soup another time.
yes, something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. What's the ambition behind doing a live recording session?
Well, like we've kind of alluded to, the songs, they're recorded one way and meant to be tracked.
Right.
But when we go out and play them live, they take on a totally different feel.
Right.
And like Quinn mentioned, we like to kind of play with the arrangements a little bit. So what this is we just celebrated a year of the album coming out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I meant to mention that as well.
So over the course of that year, we've changed some arrangements, we've added some new instrumental pieces,
Transitions and
and then it it's also like created this crowd engagement and like the energy that's in the room when we play the songs the way we do now.
Yeah.
That's not captured in the studio album. So we want to capture those arrangements, capture the room, and all these people that have kind of come on to become fans of the music or really support us, like be in the room, be a part of the album. They're not coming to a show tonight to watch the show. They're coming to be a part of the show.
That's awesome.
So
Justin said this a while back. I'm gonna steal your thunder, and I really loved
Come
it.
on, man.
I've really latched onto it. You know.
Go ahead.
He said that we don't really become Saint Social until we're on the stage and there's people in the room with us. And I 110% agree with that statement. And when we wrote these songs, we wrote them with our community in mind. We wanted them to embrace them as their own. And when, we had it in mind that eventually we'll be back on a stage, we'll be back in a room with people. And so this is our opportunity. We're giving people an opportunity to become part of Saint Social.
Right.
Become part of the Saint Social sound because these songs are theirs.
Yes.
And so that's the special thing, I think.
That's
about-
genius.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. That's really cool.
Let's see. The 228 interview. Just elaborate on that. What was that like?
Oh man, that was so
It's
fun.
a great time.
It was cool because we grew up with CPR, which is the radio station in Biloxi, and the 228 is an extension of that. Obviously, we love the 228. We love Special K and the crew, and to be on that podcast for us, well, I think you all agree with this. It felt like a seal of approval. It felt like, we love the hard rock scene and the metal scene and all that. We love that music. Our music is not that. And we know that we're kind of like a dark horse right now in the community, but we support the scene. We believe in the scene. We want. There's so many great bands that are hard rock or metal or whatever coming out of this place, and we want people to know about them just as much as we hope they'll support us the same way. So to be on the podcast and get to talk more about ourselves, and interestingly enough, a couple of the hosts, this was their first encounter with Saint Social. One of them at least had never heard our music before.
He intentionally did not listen to our music before the podcast.
What was that?
Because he likes
wanted the fresh take.
Right.
So we literally got to see someone listen to our music for the very first time and react to it with no.
It was like a blind react moment.
It was wild
for him.
And he
was
liked
cool.
it.
He loved it.
He loved it. And
Hell yeah.
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we love all the feedback that we get, but this is a guy that has listened to a lot of music.
Got it.
And so like him hearing it for the first time and what he had to say, it was cool to get that reaction.
Got it.
Yeah, he name dropped bands that we respect or are part of our DNA and without being prompted. So for him to throw some of those bands out, it was like he gets
It's high praise,
and it was high praise. Yeah,
You're on the right track.
Yeah. Gordon Ramsay likes your food.
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, and like Quinn said, we all grew up listening to CPR rocks, and so it was kind of cool to sit down with podcasts and some of you are like, oh my gosh, like when I was younger.
Oh
like,
wow.
You were you're a celebrity,
Right.
And now I'm sitting here talking to you, so it was pretty cool.
Well, there's also a personal connection for me because I actually taught and coached Special K's daughters.
Gotcha.
I actually went back and taught at my old high school, St. Martin High School. Shout out.
Let's go.
Way to go, Jackets. Yeah. And so when I was there, his daughters were students and players, at the time that I was teaching and coaching. And then the other host, he and I went to high school together. So there's a lot of cross.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Let's see. Give me some stories from performing. Anything that stick out?
This is tough because this could go a lot of different directions. It could go from the really cool things to the really weird things very quickly. I'll say this. We recently opened for a band called Harbor, and they're out of Cincinnati, and they're doing really well. Great band, we got invited to open for them in Pensacola recently this past August, and it was cool because they're a nationally touring act, great numbers, great fans, and the show was sold out. And so,
That's tight, man.
oh, it was great.
That's
And
tight.
so for us, being a local band, being in front of these people, and truthfully, like we're still kind of getting on the radar locally. The word is spreading, but it's taking time, and so getting in front of those people don't know who we are, even though we're all from the same community.
Right.
So I think what was really special was there was like a dual reaction. The first reaction is like, what is happening right now? I could look out in the crowd and just be like, this is cool. Who are these guys? And then we're just like, yeah, we're from here.
Yeah.
And they were like, wait, what?
Right.
Like they thought we were on tour with Harbor.
Right.
Which is so flattering, so humbling. And it was special to make that connection in a really unique and powerful way. And also to watch a band, doing some things that we want to do, and get a front row seat to connect with them on that, and to be invited into that opportunity was really special.
Yeah, that is really cool. Them realizing that, they've got this really cool band right underneath their thumb, this whole time. They need to do more audits of the local music scene.
I think I thought of one more that's one of my favorites is we've played Peter Anderson Festival in Ocean Springs, Mississippi 3 years in a row, and we're going to be back there again this year. This past year was epic.
Yeah,
it was really, really special. It was one of those I think this is working kind of moments, where so they put us and if you've never been to Ocean Springs, I'm going to try to describe this as best I can. But there's two streets that tee into each other. So there's Government and there's Washington. And Washington is the entry point to the festival, the traditional entry point into the festival. And so if you go down Washington and you stop right there at that where the intersection is, Government Street is lined with art stalls all the way down, like a mile. Incredible art from all over the country, maybe even the world.
Yeah.
And the 2 years before that year they put us like way out in the ether at the Mary C building, which is wonderful. Like we're not ungrateful for just getting the opportunity to play this festival. That's very important to the community. And the Anderson family are very famous, like world-renowned artists. They have what's called shearwater pottery, and it's all over the world. And then Walter Anderson, he is a visual artist that painted the pottery, but also was known for these like really massive, like mural-sized paintings and prints and stuff.
Shout out to painters, man.
Yeah, very very distinct art.
Yeah.
And so they put us at that intersection.
Yeah.
Okay. Busiest intersection in this
in
city.
the festival in the city.
It's the heart of downtown Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
And we're walking in there with shout out to Matt Stebley, also a very renowned tattoo artist who has Twisted Anchor Studios in Ocean Springs.
Yep.
He's a descendant of I think it's Walter Anderson.
Yeah.
He graciously designed a limited edition tiger tee for us. So we had it.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, we had it there.
Yeah.
And so we're playing at this intersection, and there's always is it going to be too loud for everybody? Are they going to enjoy it? It turned into a street party, man. And it was like we were having a blast.
Oh,
people
man,
were having a
let's
blast,
go, man.
and it was like one of those moments where we felt so embraced
Yeah.
by where we're from, because up to that point it's been on the table, like who's going to claim us.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's no we don't know. You don't know if your hometown will claim you.
Right.
You hope so.
Right.
Um,
And was the music just like fitting the vibe?
Oh man.
Well, it was kind of like what we always were talking about going for, like the sound of where we come from.
Come on. Yeah.
And like we shut down that intersection. Like in a semicircle in that intersection around us, like so many rows back, people were just stopped. And just like
Yeah.
and we're just all like, is this really happening right now?
Well,
And it is.
And
And-
we're a very interactive band. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, you know,
What does it
I
feel
love
like to
most is
stop
like,
time?
I mean, it was so cool because and I think it was super cool for us. I mean, because like there were kids dancing,
Yeah.
adults dancing. Like to Quinn, what Quinn was saying earlier is like we just want to make you move and make you feel good while doing it,
Yeah.
and like that was happening. And I think it's one of those surreal moments that we all talk about often, like that energy, because we were actually talking about it on the way over here. But that energy, you know, when you're getting that much energy off of a crowd, like I was telling the guys, like I could play for 8 hours straight feeding off that energy. You know,
The fire would never die.
Oh, the fire will never die. Yeah,
We're like I was saying, we're an interactive
you just
band.
have to be there.
Oh Lord, here it goes. That's fine. We're an interactive band, and when a crowd like that is like open to us, you know, the crowd has to give you a certain level of permission. Like we're pretty punk rock. Like we'll do. Oh, that's. I just had the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
Okay.
Finish this.
Okay. All
I
right.
knew
So.
exactly.
Okay. So. If they'll give us permission, like we get out in the crowd, we like to, you know, put our arm around them and sing and play and stuff. And I love what you said. I think this is really important. Is because we say, in fact, I'll give this to Brian. Brian was the first one who said this. We're the band that brings everybody together. And so to have kids there and parents there and siblings there and generations of people, like that's the music that we want to make. We want to make music that's going to bring all of those people together.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those moments where when I say like it's working, what I mean is this music is bringing people together and it's bringing everyone together.
Saint Social.
Yeah, man.
That's the same social.
That's it.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys want to bring to the table about future plans or whatever's going on?
We're gonna play Gretna Fest in New Orleans
Let's
this year.
go.
We get to
Let's go.
share the
Oh, yeah.
stage with the one and only
West
Natasha.
Bank, baby.
Yeah, the one and only Natasha Bedingfield.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, we're opening directly for Natasha, which is
it's
super cool.
one of the biggest opportunities we've gotten yet, and so that's coming in the future. We're playing Mississippi Songwriters Festival this year, and it's special because, if I'm not mistaken, they've never had bands showcased.
Yeah.
So we're like one of the first bands to be showcased, and then Peter Anderson, obviously, and before the year's out, we're gonna release an acoustic remix EP of a handful of songs from the album. It's us taking our sound and stripping it down and
Changing some BPMs.
not this time.
But you got a little preview of it.
Yeah, not this time. But we like reimagining our songs, and I think that'll be a consistent thing in the future.
I mean, in working on the old songs and changing old songs, how do you balance like that practice with creating new songs?
It's a separation. But I think it's the same creative juices.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Like
gotcha.
this is a new direction and a new, step in. But this is a new direction. This is a new part of the story. So we focus development there, but we focus reimaginative creativity here.
So to promote the live recording that we're doing, we did a tour of pop-up shows. We called it the Road to the Sanctuary, and those pop-up shows were actually, one of the wild stories was we did a pop-up show at Edgewater Mall.
Speaking of crowd giving you permission,
Right. we got kicked out. So that was
punk rock thing ever.
It was like 10 in the morning. It was like, but we had permission from the GM. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we were allowed to be there, or whatever. But like we were gonna do 15 minutes of music, and that got cut down to like 10.
Yeah.
So whatever. But in doing pop-up shows, there were some shows where it was just me by myself. And so because the experience is king, it gave or it was like, or it was me and Justin. Right. There were things that we did, just the two of us.
Or you and Brian.
Or me and Brian, yeah. And so basically it was like, how do we take these songs and mold them with the limited resources that we have in this moment. And so so some of the songs we slowed them down. I was able to they're my lyrics are there's some tough stuff going on in those lyrics. It's just that the music is the sugar that makes the medicine go down.
Yeah.
Like joy and grief are best buds, and our music is them working together. It's just that joy has the louder voice in our music, Yeah. But there's a lot of grief in it. So I got to change up the song so that people could hear that really in a different way. But as far as the new music, it's definitely an extension of this album. There's a side story that we want to tell. Kind of like Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's Breaking Bad.
Got it.
But there's Better Call Saul. So I would say that the stuff that we're on the way to releasing is kind of that. It's like the album is don't want to make a deluxe album and add all these songs or anything like that.
Right.
Like those 9 songs are the statement, but there's another part of the story that we want to dig into and show people, and so that's where we're at right now. I don't think it's where we'll be in full, but yeah.
Yeah, that's terrific. That is terrific. I love the designs. Do you think that you guys will keep going in that direction?
Man, that's a really great question because I would tell you that as far as the artwork and what we're trying to create visually, we do care about world building, and so our art is very much a part of the world building, and we spend time talking about it. You asked a question about that earlier, and we have very specific visual influences.
It's vibrant.
And it's vibrant. And but like when we talked about like this era of our music, it was like black with pops of color, right? And hence what we're wearing. Yeah. And it was like because we were like, there's light in the darkness.
Got it.
And so, but it was like we wanted those colors to be neon. We wanted those colors to be, joyful, vibrant. Tiger, and the tiger. There's iconography in our music, so there's like words that I'm saying over and over again, and
it's not a tiger for the sake of a tiger. There's meaning to it.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is,
if you don't mind, just moving.
Yeah, the cool thing is what you see is what you get. We're authentic. You can take it at face value, or you can choose to go deeper. Yeah. So cool. It's a tiger. You can put it on a T-shirt and rock it. Or what does that tiger mean?
LSU.
There we go. Go Tigers.
Well, it doesn't. But we didn't shy away from using images that are localized where we're from.
Yeah. Right.
It's just we co-opted that and used it to communicate something else. So while we can respect LSU, and I have to be a fan.
No, we don't. Roll Tide.
Okay. We were
59 minutes. We'll cut that.
But the word saint is in the name of our band because there's a culture of Catholicism and spirituality here that we wanted to tip our hat at, and say, hey, that is a part of who we are. The social component of laissez bon temps roulette and or just gathering.
Got it.
Our name is on purpose, and so even the lyrics are pulling from images that come from growing up here.
Right.
So our clothing, like what we're wearing, is also part of that intentional conversation. And so will the image change? Yeah. Like there's colors that, we're thinking of for the next era of our music.
Yeah.
But it'll all be tied together with that concept that I talked about and making things from an on purpose type of place. I don't know if we're the band who's going to make like a scrapbook of like where we've been,
right? If
that makes sense. And no shade to any band that does that. That's just not us. The bands that we love, I'll shout out Coldplay. Like I think that what they're making has a container, right? And it has a visual identity, and it all kind of ties together and works together. And I think we just like those kinds of albums. And
they keep the vibrancy alive.
They keep the vibrancy alive.
And we're fortunate, especially with Quinn's time in Nashville. We've got a network of people that
Yeah.
are very creative, and we can rely on their talents for. Like we have a vision of what we want something to look like. We can give them like a straw man idea of it, and then they deliver.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I saw you guys tag about 100 people in the Instagram posts, but it's great how collaborative.
Shout out Tyler Spangler.
Yeah,
We
it's
appreciate you,
a
buddy.
huge fan of Tyler Spangler's art. He's based on the West Coast, and he's a huge inspiration for like our design aesthetic. And we always point back to him. He recently shouted out to us, so that was
He
really
did. Yeah, it
that was
was
so
really cool.
special, man. Yeah, check out Tyler Spangler, wonderful designer, and he's got great clothing lines.
Yeah.
And
Visional, like revolutionary kind of things. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very abstract in some things, very straightforward in others.
yeah,
Well, I really appreciate you guys for stopping by and
thank you for having us, man.
yeah, this was awesome. Guys, if you can't make it to the sanctuary tonight, make sure that you catch the next one and see what happens in their recordings tonight as they post it in 26.
Right. We cannot wait to. Is it the listening room?
Yes, it'll be a listening room series for Gulf Coast.
Man, we cannot wait to. to be with
October
you all.
11th.
October
October
11th.
11th.
We're
Yes,
so stoked to
Be
be
there.
here.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. Catch you guys in the next wave.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.